let's all find our feet. So take your time, however it is you will get there. Rise up. Take a few breaths. Maybe rocking forward and backward from your heels to your toes gently. Gentle roll of the shoulders. And then just settle in. Maybe closing down the windows of the eyes. Just begin that process of going into your body and into your mind. Yeah, so feel the soles of your feet connecting to the ground below. Maybe spreading the toes and rooting them back down so you really get a sense of gripping into the earth as you lift that energy up through active legs, like trying to stand taller off the earth, engaged through the glutes and the core. So it can be like a sense of pulling that navel in and up, kind of knits your whole core and rib cage together, opening of the chest so the arms can relax and hang, weighted down your sides. Each little fingertip working towards the earth. And each inhale lifting you up, lengthening the spine higher and taller, all the way out the crown of the head. Maybe there can even be a gentle tuck of the chin just to activate those neck flexors and pull that whole front line into action. Few breaths here. Just run through that checklist all the way from your feet to your crown. On your next inhale, let's circle sweep slowly, hands all the way up to the sky. Feel into that entire range of motion, creating that whole full moon around your aura. Pause at the tops, let the soles or the palms of your hands meet and bring them down to your heart center on an exhale. And then pausing here to acknowledge your heartbeat as your thumbs press into your sternum. And then notice each little fingertip making connection with its pair. The pressure of your right palm on your left palm. The gap in between the very center of each palm. Maybe a little vacuum of space as you press them together. And consider here this meeting of the left and right brain. This is how we get those two sides to communicate, or these cross-body connections, meeting the left with the right. We can't just live on the left side or the right side. We can't just be on the creative or the logical. We need this balance. And then let the meeting in the middle, we can lead from this heart space. I'd like to find a little bit of movement. Gently begin to just rock forward and backward, letting the weight travel from your heels to your toes and back. Maybe softening in the knees. Yeah, loose in the joints. Just begin to sway forward and back. Feeling a little gentle flexion and extension in the spine. Turn facing forward so you can kind of see that gentle sway, gentle tip of the tail, and then a tuck. You can release your hands if you want to get a little bit more loose in the shoulders and arms, and just rock from the forward and backward. See if you can connect seamlessly into a nice wave in the spine, from the tail all the way up the crown. And just finding some looseness here. And the next time you return to center, let's just begin a little lateral sway. You can step your feet a little wider if you want some more support, and just send the hips to one side, and then let that wave ride up your spine to your shoulders, and see if you can really press out through the rib cage just to get some of that lateral flexion in the spine. Couple deep breaths to help facilitate that wave. And then returning once more, maybe shaking out or finding any extra little wiggles. A few twists for some of those qigong thumps. Ooh. Yeah, see if you can open up a little space for rotation in the spine here. And then returning to stability in your table or in your mountain shape, mountain form. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms, once more feeling into the entire range of motion of the shoulders. When your palms meet, let's swan dive forward, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Take a little moment here, feel into the hamstrings. You can gently cradle the arms or rock the head, yes and no, for some more release. And on an inhale, let's halfway lift, find some length in the spine as we reach the crown of the head forward. Weight in the toes, so we're peeking over the edge of our mat like we're looking over the edge of a cliff. So brave. Exhale, melt forward, fold. Bend into the knees, circle, sweep the arms, rise up. And then bring your palms back down to your heart center. Take notice once more. Right side, left side, meeting in the middle. Consider how many times this gesture has been made. Billions of people all around the world making this symbol right at their chest, assigning this gesture a meaning. What does this gesture mean to you? Perhaps the international sign of gratitude. This expression of left brain, right brain, leading from love. Pause and just take in what these prayer hands at your heart mean to you. Set your intention, if you will. And then on your next breath, we'll circle, sweep our arms. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Plant the hands, and this time we'll step it back to a plank. Stay nice and lifted here, or drop the knees for a little bit more support, but just really push the earth away out of the shoulders. Engaged through the legs, so we're high on the toes. Maybe glide forward on an inhale, and then exhale, bend the elbows to the back wall, along the side body, all the way down, knees, chest, chin, meet at the same time. Untuck the toes, press them into the mat. So you have these action legs, kneecaps are like off the mat because your legs are so turned on here. And then inhale, your heart and collarbones open forward, maybe lifting the chest ever so slightly, little to no weight in the hands. And then exhale, melt the forehead to the mat. Elbows are like cricket wings here, yeah? Hands down at the rib cage, again, pressing into the toes. Inhale for a low cobra, really activating the whole upper back and upper shoulders. If you want a little more, you can clasp your hands behind your back. Give a little squeeze to the palms. And really pull those shoulders back. Send the heart forward. Take a breath. Exhale, break your clasp, let it go. tuck your toes coming up through hands and knees. And then exhale, glide the hips to the sky, downward dog. Take a few breaths here and find that space in the back of your legs or in your hip joints. Just kind of move into your first down dog. And then after a few breaths of movement, find a few breaths of stillness. So we'll run through our little checklist and make sure our foundation is set really strong in the feet, and then lifting up through the legs. The heels don't have to meet the bottom of the mat. Yeah, generous bend in the knees so we can really get those hips high, high, high. Pressing out through the arms and shoulders again so we get that long, flat back. Head can ring like a bell in between the arms. Coming high on the toes for an inhale, really activate the legs. And then exhale, sink the heels, find some length in those hamstrings. One more time, high on the toes. Sink the heels, exhale. And then this time, high on the toes. Let's take that wave of breath up and over to a plank shape. And then exhale, buckle the knees, bend the hips, glide them back. Down dog. Inhale, high to the toes, rounding up through the back for a plank shape. And then when you reach the front, gliding the hips back. Once more, coming high on the toes. Exhale, rounding forward. And this time your knees, chest, chin can meet the mat. Again, same time, untuck the toes, glide forward, low cobra, heart, collarbones open, shoulders squeezed back. If you want a little more, pressing into the tops of the feet so the legs lift off as you straighten your arms. Upward facing dog, squeeze the shoulders back, open the chest and collarbones, lengthen the back of the neck, breathe. Take one full breath in, and on an exhale, pull the navel into spine as the hips meet the sky, down dog. Take a breath or two, and then hop, skip, step. Take your time, but find your way to the top of the mat. So many ways to get here. What do you need? Halfway lift when you're at the top. And then exhale, melt, melt, melt. Bend the knees, circle, sweep the arms, reaching to the sky. Palms together, heart center, exhale. Wiggle, wiggle, shake it out. Find some stability once more in Samastihiti. Feel that energy beginning to course through your body, blood through your veins. Feel your heart pitter-patter in your chest. All these signs that we are alive. Circle, sweep the arms, reach high. Maybe take a back bend or cactus the arms so you can get a little chest opening here. Heart, sternum up and forward. Reaching high on an inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, find some length. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop it back to plank. Stay lifted for a breath. And then exhale, knees, chest, chin to the earth. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. So setting your foundation in your dog, plant into your left foot, and then inhale, right leg rises. Bend the knee, maybe stack the hip. You can make a little circle with the knee just to kind of feel into what that hip joint wants to say to you today. Or pause in a spot that feels good. Keep the shoulders nice and squared off to the mat. And then find some length in the right leg once more, maybe pointing through the toes. If you flex the foot,
let's turn the toes down to the earth so we can square that hip back off. Kind of brings that right hip point down a little ways. And then exhale, bring the knee into your nose. Keep a high down dog shape here. So hips are high, just squeezing in knee to nose. And then exhale, find some length. Exhale, or inhale, find length. Exhale, knee to nose. And then this time, let's open up the hip. Take a little figure 4 shape here. So the right ankle can cross over the left knee. And then just breathe into this shape. How does that feel on the hip joint? If you want a little more, we can pivot the left heel to the left side of the mat. So we're on the knife edge of our left foot, bending into that knee. I'm trying to work the whole left foot still down to the mat as I glide forward and open up for kind of this funny side plank, So bend in the left knee, work in the left foot all the way down to the mat, weight in the left hand, really pressing away through the shoulder. Maybe the right hand can rise for a cactus arm. Really claw the air here. Think about puffing your chest and sending your booty back so you really get some good extension in the spine. If this is too much, drop your left knee and just work on this right hip being open and lifted. If you want a little more, that's where we can go. Taking the right foot off the left knee and really extend or open up that right hip. Right hand can then reach overhead, over the ear. And if you're feeling good here and you want to drop into a wild thing, go ahead and just send the right toes behind you. Take a little revolve and send the heart to the sky. You can always drop the bum down for a little rest. You can check in on your alignment. Left foot is long, high on the right toes behind you, and then open up, send that front line skyward. Hands behind you or on the heart. Either way, we're going to come back just the way we came through. Right leg lifted high, right hand returns to the earth, and then find your 3-legged dog. Set the right foot down. Pause, wiggle it out, take a breath, woo-woo, and let the left foot rise on an inhale. Bend the knee, stack the hip, make a circle if it feels good. Explore what this hip needs. Maybe it needs something different. Extend that leg nice and long once more. If you've flexed the toes, bring them to point towards the earth, squares the hip off. And then exhale, knee to nose, keeping hips nice and high, triangle shape here. Knee to nose, squeeze it in tight. And then inhale, open up, find length. Exhale, squeeze, knee to nose once more. And this time we'll cross the left ankle over the right knee for that figure 4 leg. Drop in, maybe belly to thigh. See how that feels on that hip. And if you want a little more, we can take it into that funny side plank sort of thing. We're going to pivot on the right foot, working the whole foot back down to the earth. Right, really working at rooting the toe back down. Butt out, chest puffed. If you want more, cactus your left arm to the sky, claw the air. And if you want even more, you can open up that left hip, hovering it high. Again, drop the right knee and just work on this abduction of the hip if this is too much. And if you want more, let that left foot touch down behind you and open the front line for wild thing. Again, hand on heart, send the bum to the earth. Check in on your alignment here. High on the left toes. Right foot is nice and long, but when we rise back up, we're working the root of the toe back down to the earth. Front line can express, open. And then coming back just the way we came into it. Claw the air, let that left Left hip open. And then left hand can return. Extend the left leg long for three-legged dog. And let the left foot return to the earth. Maybe wag the dog or pedal it out. Take a breath of movement. And then take 2 big breaths in stillness here. Next breath in comes high on the toes, and then ride that wave all the way over to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to cobra or upward facing dog. And then down dog. Coming high on the right foot, left foot plants, right foot comes high. And then exhale, knee to nose. Keep the hips nice and high in that down dog shape. And then this time, we're gonna cross the knee, or the ankle over the left knee once more, and roll to that side of the foot, kind of that funky side plank. Bend into the knee so we can really get the butt out, chest puffed, extension in that whole left side. And then if you want a little more here, you can extend the right leg, touch down on the foot or on the floor, or hover it for a little extra challenge on those adductors. Open up that whole left side of your body by reaching the left hands to the mat over your ear. And then plant the left hand and take your barrel roll back to your down dog shape. Feel into that figure 4 leg. And we can pivot once more to the other side. Left hand plants, right knee, right elbow go high. Woo. And then if you want more, drop back for wild thing. You can always return from your bum or just rotate all the way back to 3-legged dog and let the right foot return to the earth. Retake a breath. Plant into the right and let the left foot go high. And then bring the knee to the nose. High in the hips, squeeze that little nose and knee together. And then cross your left ankle over the right knee. Pivoting on that foot, roll over, weight in the left foot, kind of gliding forward so the shoulder isn't quite stacking over the wrist. Generous bend in the right leg, butt out, chest up, extension in the spine. Yeah, and then if you want a little more, begin to extend that left leg. You can touch down for some support or hover it. Adductors working, and then try to get that open expression in the whole right side body. Gazing at the front of the mat, let the right hand return, crossing the right ankle over the left knee, and pivot around to take that barrel roll, opening up the left knee, left elbow to the sky. And then extend, find that expression in wild thing. Touch down the left foot behind you, open up the front line. And then come back through. Plant the left hand, left leg goes high for a down dog, and then let the foot return to its mate and pedal it out, or wag the dog. And take a breath in stillness. High on the toes, round forward, and then exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Find your knees, open them up or let them stay below you, and then just drop into child's pose. Let your forehead fall heavy on the mat. Maybe a gentle rock to the left and to the right, just to really stimulate that third eye, that chakra of knowing. If you like to keep your head above water, you can always rise up and sit in hero's pose on your heels. Either way, we close down the eyes and just notice the circulation, all the sensations that come tingling up, all the feelings that come bubbling up to the surface when we get a little bit of that internal heat created. Coming back in communion, connection with our breath if we lost it. And noticing the power of the breath to slow the heart rate, to calm the mind, to cool the body even. Returning back. Yeah. Rising up if you're in child's pose. We'll just reach out in front of us and maybe find a little roundness in a cat-cow, kind of shake out the hips or the spine. Yeah, take a few breaths in whatever movement or motion serves you right now. Maybe even a few little barrel rolls just to combine those side to side and forward and back motions. And then finding stability in your table, tuck your toes if they haven't been already, and on your exhale, glide the hips up, up, up to the sky. High on the toes on an inhale, and then sinking the heels on the exhale. Plant into the left foot, let the right foot rise. Really reaching up and high with those right toes. And then exhale, knee to nose, glide forward this time so we're in more of that familiar plank shape. Exhale, inhale, find some length. Exhale, right knee to the right elbow. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, under the body to the left elbow, squeeze. And then find some length once more. This time gliding forward, right into the nose. Look between your hands and then hinge at the knee, step forward. Sink the hips and maybe drop that left knee for a little bit more support. You can stay in an active lunge if this serves you better this morning. Otherwise, drop the knee and then circle sweep. Using the power of your glute, lift your whole upper body, right? So it's like activity in the glutes, streaming through the core, puff the chest, lifting nice and high. So we've set this very strong foundation in our legs, and then up, 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 lifting with our core. Yeah, reach, and if you like a little bit of a chest opener or a back bend, you can cactus your arms, exhale. Maybe the gaze can look upward gently. Don't kink the neck, find some length here. And if there's more space, you can clasp the hands behind you. Oh yeah, squeezing those elbows, squeezing those arms active. Opening the collarbones, opening the chest. Index fingers can release and then kind of walk the hands away from the sacrum as the heart and collarbones, sternum work upward and forward. And then release your clasp on an exhale. And let's begin to straighten the front leg, hinging at the hips. We still have this active core, just leaning the heart forward. And maybe even don't straighten the leg all the way. Let's keep some activity in our form and our foundation here, but really feel the activity in the back of the right leg. Feel those hamstrings. And if it's a little too much, come up. Don't compromise the forward structure of this shape. Yeah. And if you need a little support, you can always drop your hands down, but try not to round the back. Let's try to keep this heart and line really engaged. And then inhale, let's roll forward, planting the weight back into the right leg. Coming through that lunge, rise the hands up. And then if your knee is down, we're gonna straighten the leg, rise up off the knee for our high crescent. Lifting again high with the upper body, but staying really low in our foundation, nice and strong in the legs. Reach forward 45 degrees with the hands. So we have this nice long line from the heel all the way out the fingertips. Gaze can be just in front of us to keep that back of the neck in line. Hands can come to heart center, plant what you got into that right foot, and let the left foot hover parallel to the earth. Lean forward, warrior three. Yeah, find that engagement in your hips. So drawing the left hip point down to square them off to the mat. Pushing out through the left foot, either the heel or the toes. Crown of the head working forward. So that long line in the core is what's keeping us stable. Squeeze the shoulders back. Yeah, send the foot back, head forward, and then on an inhale, rise up to standing. You can touch down the foot for a little stability, or hover that left leg through. Yeah, parallel the thigh to the earth this time. So 90 degrees in the knee, 90 degrees in the ankle, pausing here. Yeah. Circle sweep the arms on an inhale. Reaching, reaching, reaching nice and tall. And then exhale. Let's extend the knee, so straightening the leg. Cactus the arms. Yeah. Hip flexors on. Yes, ma'am. And then inhale, find some length in the arms, flexing the knee, relaxing that leg down. And then we can just set the left toes down next to the right, reaching high. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive, or bowing forward, exhale. Yeah, inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, plant your palms. Let's step back to our plank. Yeah, take a breath at the top, and then exhale, chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin. Take your cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, tail rises to the sky, down dog. That loyal dog pose. Plant into the left foot and let the right leg rise. Really trying to get the toes high, high, high in the air. And then exhale, knee to nose, gliding forward. Inhale, find length. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, gliding forward. Inhale, length. And then exhale, under the body to the right elbow. Squeeze tight, and then inhale, find some length. Last time, knee to nose, squeeze. Glide, or lean forward, look forward, and then hinging at the knee, step forward. You can drop the right knee down for support, and then using the power of the glute, lift that entire core upwards, and then sink into the foundation, strong legs. We are here, feel into the hip flexors, lifting out through the core, through the upper body to the sky. And if you want a little more, you can cactus the arms. Maybe the gaze can turn upward so that the heart just begins to tip. Maybe that's good. That's enough. Squeezing shoulders back. And if you want more, if there's more room, class, maybe the funny fingers, right? So it's like the opposite way. Bilateral. Here we go. Squeezing the elbows together, active engagement in the biceps, release the index finger, work the hands away from the sacrum. Gaze and sternum look up. So we have this like slingshot happening between our hands and our heart, right? Yes. And then release your clasp. I like to hover the bird on the wire wings, right? As we begin to straighten the left leg, hinge at the hips, lean forward, or more so draw the heart forward. Yeah, feel into that left hamstring. And this left leg doesn't need to go straight. I really want to work in this this scope of active engagement. So really trying to maintain the structure
But also drawing heart forward, butt back. And then plant what you got into the left foot, gliding forward. Hands can circle sweep to the sky, and then let's come up off the right knee. High crescent. Reach, reach, reach with the hands, but settle into that foundation. Yeah, drawing the hip points even and square, and then just lean forward 45 degrees. So it's like reaching to the upper corner of that room. Head in line with the arms and the neck and the spine. Whew. Yeah, strong stuff. So engage through the core to really create that line from the hands to the feet. And then if you want to bring the hands to heart center for some stability, let the right foot rise on an inhale. Tip forward, 90 degrees. Warrior 3. Yeah, so pushing out through the back toes or the heel. I don't care which, just active engagement. Yeah, so we're not floating the leg, but we are pushing that right leg back and then reaching the crown of the head forward. Touch down for stability if you need it. Yeah. And then straighten up, find some strength and stability in Samastihiti, or just glide the right knee up and through. Parallel the thigh to the earth, flex the foot so we have a knee and ankle and hip at 90 degrees. Yeah. Circle sweep arms on an inhale. Reach nice and tall, and then exhale. Cactus the arms, open the chest, and straighten the leg. Hovering that right thigh parallel to the earth. Hip flexors. And then inhale, reach high, release the knee. Exhale, let the leg come down to the earth as your prayer hands find your heart. Whew. Yeah. Inhale, circle sweep. Exhale, swan dive, forward folds. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, hop, step, skip your way to the back of the mat. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, low cobra. Maybe an upward facing dog. And then either roll through your knees or glide to downward facing dog. High on the toes, and then exhale and drop down to the knees. Either sink your bum back and drop into a child's pose, or if you like to stay lifted in heroes. Yeah, just sitting up on your heels. Again, extending the spine nice and high. We're barely sitting on our heels, staying nice and lifted here in this hero's shape. Close down the eyes wherever you choose to be. Yeah, if you're in child's pose, maybe instead of reaching hands out in front of you this time, they can come down around the sides of the body so the hands can hang out here at the feet. Perhaps if you are in heroes, you take chin mudra, your okay fingers, recirculating index and thumb energies, placed face down on the lap, on the knees here. Let's try to recirculate that energy. Help dissipate static energies in the body, engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, letting the body know that we can come back down and rest. It's the beauty of this practice, this engagement of the sympathetic nervous system, this fight or flight, right? We get our heart pumping and our blood surging and the heat building. And then we come back down and we let those hormones go, and those release hormones, this rest and repair side of our body kicks in. And this is how we train our body to deal with stress in the real world. Like, how do you deal with these stresses in your body on your mat? And how do you deal with these stresses in and on your body off the mat? How do we welcome back in this calming, mindful presence? It all comes back to breath. Taking one or two more full breaths here. And then we'll reach our hands out to the front of the mat and round up and over through our cat spine. Maybe exhale, send the hips back through that cow shape as we glide our hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg nice and high, high, high. And then exhale, bend the knee to the right elbow, squeeze it in tight, and then hinging at the knee, step outside the right hand. Yeah, setting up for our lizard shape. We can drop this left knee for a more passive stretch. Maybe a gentle rock, side to side. Maybe if there's some room, you can drop onto your forearms or drop your forearms onto a block. Really takes the weight off the wrists. Or just kind of play around with that hip. See what feels good to you here. Coming back up off your forearms if you lowered, straightening the arms. Let's just walk the left foot over to the left, or the right foot over to the left side of the mat and drop down on that outside of the leg for pigeon pose. If this is not a space, please take figure 4 on the back. You can just roll over and let the ankle on the knee, just as we were in our down dog this morning. Yeah, if that feels good, or stay here for pigeon shape. And again, like a gentle rock side to side, like see what this hip has to say today. Surely it's saying something different than yesterday. These big joints hold big memories. They hold big emotions. So, yeah, give time and space for anything you're going to feel here. Not forcing anything. If there's space, leaning forward, dropping onto the forearms. See if you can maybe find a way to rest your forehead. Maybe stacking your fists in front of you, or if you've got a block, just any chance to get that little third eye, a little pressure, just sends direct signals to the nervous system. To be easy. Coming up off the elbows if you dropped down. Yeah, just one baby step at a time. Maybe pausing in this high pigeon and see how it feels different than just a few breaths ago. Maybe there's a little bit more space or a little more opening. And then nothing formal, tuck the back toes, coming up on the hands. We're just going to send the right leg back to downward dog. You can take a little movement through a 3 dog or, feel into that hip joint. And then just let the foot return to the earth. Maybe a little wag here and there. Ooh, yeah, that feels nice. And then plant into the right foot and let the left leg rise. And then exhale, glide the knee to the left elbow, just outside. Hinging at the knee, step the left foot outside the left hand. And then drop down onto the back knee. How does this side feel different than the other? And this low lizard lunge. Yeah, dropping into the hip flexors. Maybe opening that left hip if it felt good on the other side. And just taking in the differences, allowing the differences of each side. And then find whatever expression of this lizard shape is going to serve you this morning. Maybe dropping down onto blocks or forearms, or just staying lifted, maybe even making fists. Just try to give the hands a break. We spend so much time on our wrists and this chaturangas and other vinyasa flows, so as often as we can, let's just take the weight off of our poor little hands and then say thank you for supporting me. Yeah, let the head be heavy, a little jostle, right and left to release. And just one more nice, solid breath in this shape. Rising up, straightening the arms if you came down. Yeah, take in the lizard shape. And then we'll just walk the left foot over to the right side of the mat and drop onto that kind of outer edge of the left leg and set up your pigeon lunge or pigeon pose. Maybe a little rock left and right because this side feels different. Maybe you have more space here, different tightness here, who knows? Yeah. Be inquisitive. That's what this practice is about. Finding these shapes, especially these familiar shapes in particular. If we do these enough, not only do we train the body on how to find its way into these, where is that comfort zone, but this is also the cue on when things are off in the body or in the mind space. We come back to these shapes that are so familiar to us, and maybe I didn't get into that one so easily, or I just couldn't turn the chatter off in my brain here. Don't attach a judgment to these things, just allow it and let it be, but take notice. That's what this practice is all about, cueing into the subtleties, the subtle differences and similarities. Just take 2 full breaths here in this pigeon shape, whether you found your forehead on a block or your stacked palms or fists. And then straightening up, slow as you go. Yeah, rising up and pausing. Yeah, just take it in. Last little stretch in this hip joint. And then coming up, tucking the back toes. Nothing formal, just coming back into a downward facing dog. Or extend for that 3 dog. Yeah, make that circle in this hip joint. Shake out any other little wiggles you've got. Yeah, little wag here, wag there. And then we'll just drop the knees down onto the mat and roll off to our bum. Again, nothing formal, just finding a seat. I like to open up my legs for this wide straddle shape. Sit up tall and kind of scoot your sit bones behind you. So you've got this anterior tilt of the pelvis, right? And maybe this is good. This can be an excellent shape and pose to really engage that core and get that hinge action. If you have a belt, this can be really helpful. Again, wrap the belt around your feet like this nice triangle and just begin to tip the heart forward. If this is feeling comfortable to you, maybe your hands can begin to walk their way in front of you. Again, hinging at the hips, keeping sit bones going back. Yeah, and actually actively pulling your body, your heart forward in front of you here. Can bring a nice stretch into that adductors and that inner thigh line. Maybe dropping onto forearms. Again, stack the fists or take a block here. Awesome. Few big breaths. Maybe even reaching hands out in front of you. And just pancaking forward. I like to keep the toes and the feet active. The legs are active here. That's just just a way that I feel like I'm able to protect my knee joint, especially as my legs want to maybe rotate. So toes up to the sky, active legs, active core, pulling, 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 but then also, exhale, release, active, active release. And when you have had enough, just slowly, one step at a time, just the way you came in, rise back up. No rush. Enjoy what's working for you. And then we'll just pull one foot in at a time and let the soles of our feet meet right here in front of us. I can give some space in between the body for a less intense stretch, or pull them closer. Either way, just give a little love to the arches of your feet. If you've got or have ever experienced plantar fasciitis, warming up this tissue and really setting ourselves up for success, stretching and strengthening, lengthening this tissue can make a really big difference in a day. So just remember, our feet put up with a lot. They support us all through the day, so let's give them some love when we can. And then lifting up in the chest, sitting up nice and tall. Let's hinge forward on an exhale. So again, active core is engaged, and I'm just bringing heart forward, really squeezing shoulders back, lengthen the spine. Yeah, gaze can be just in front of you here. And then as you're ready, begin to soften in the spine. When you find that sweet spot, then you can let go and maybe find some roundness in the neck. But starting with the hinge, so you feel that stretch and find that spot, and then drop in and release. Gentle sways to the right and left. Can kind of give a little variety to this stretch. And then sitting up when you are satisfied. And let's just let the soles of the feet come out in front of you. Generous bend in the knees. And then around through the spine, just lowering down, down, down. You can squeeze the knees into chest and rock side to side gently, just a little massage to the back line. Let the soles of the feet meet the sky. Hands can grab the outside of the feet and bend the knees for a little happy baby if that feels good. Keep that rocking if the wind has you. Maybe stability feels better and you just work at getting that lower back pressing down into the mat as the feet press high into the hands. So it's this active pull of the arms down into the feet, but then a kick of the feet into the hands, right? Working that low back, upper back, neck, all in line on the floor below you. Such an active pose for being such a passive pose. Let's take a little supine twist. So let the knees come back into the center, give them a little squeeze. Open up the arms to your full wingspan. I'm gonna place the palms face down. I need some grounding, right? So feel that stability and support of the earth as you just begin to gently tick-tock the legs left and right. Say hello to the SI joint. All of that activity with the glutes lifting the leg in those three dogs really works into those glute muscles. And then the next time your knees go to the right side, just let them fall all the way to the earth. Weight down in the left shoulder. Really press that whole upper body, or keep that contact on the mat, even as the right side of the lower body, or the lower body rolls to the right. If you want to complete the spiral, the gaze can look over the left fingertips. I like to place my right hand on my belly for some tactile feedback
on what my breath is still doing in my body. Actively breathing all the way down into the diaphragm. And then exhale, constrict the belly, emptying out, twisting out and letting go. This is the opportunity to wring out all that we brought bubbling to the surface in our heat of the practice. This is our chance to just let go of what isn't going to serve us anymore. Wring it out. That's tension in the body. That's tension in the mind. Just let go. Any of those thoughts that might have just been lingering in the back of your mind. Yeah, the time for notice is here, but the time for letting go, this is upon us. On your next inhale, unwind. Bring the knees back through center. And then just gently let them fall over to the left side. The gaze can fall over the right fingertips this time. It's still way heavy in that right upper body, that right shoulder. Yeah, just drop down onto the mat. Left hand can be on the left belly and just feel your breath move in your body. Yeah, all of those hums and sounds that come out when we find this release are all so welcome here. These hums and thrums and breaths, these ums and sighs that directly affect the nervous system. They help vagal tone, and it's just amazing what the body can do. Yeah, let it go here. And then slowly bringing your knees back up through center. Hug them in, one last tight round ball. Maybe even the forehead comes to the knees and you take that little seed shape. Considering here is where all that potential lies. Potential of life in a seed. And then let the head fall back down to the earth. And release the feet to the floor. And let the legs grow long. They can be as wide as the mat, and the toes can fall wide. And your arms can be down at your sides with the soles facing upwards. This open sign of receiving. And then take a nice full breath as you enter Shavasana. And on your exhale, just drop in. Yeah, let the bones just weigh heavy. And here is your opportunity to really commit to the stillness of this shape. Just as important as every other pose we took today. Just as much effort in the body to stay still, actively releasing. Just as much challenge in the mind to stay focused. Focused on your breath. Focused on the practice that is noticing your thoughts and then inviting them back to your breath and back to your body. Yeah, as often as your mind wanders away, just gently draw it back. This is the space where all of that integration happens.
This is the space for healing. This is the shape where our yoga practice truly begins. So just take your time here. Take your medicine. And you can stay here as long as you need. Maybe just challenge yourself to lie for maybe 5 more breaths even. 10 minutes, who knows? And then when you're ready, just roll over gently to your favorite side and pause for a sweet moment before you gently push yourself up, using the strength of your arms up to an easy seat. We've been here before. You can keep the eyes closed down. Yeah, just brighten the posture. Find length in the spine and let the breath lengthen and elevate. And then exhale and drop back down and into this space. If you'd like to circle sweep on an inhale, harness in all of this beautiful energy you've created, we've created. And then when your palms touch at the top, bring them down to your heart center. And notice once more this left palm making connection to your right palm. Notice it as if it were someone else's hand, someone you love that you were touching, holding their hand. Can you take in all that is the touch of your left palm and your right palm? And feel your heartbeat, a strong heartbeat in your chest. And consider the blending of the left side and the right side, and the connection here in front of your heart. May this practice connect you to yourself, connect you to each other, and then remind us to always lead from this heart space. I see you. The light in me sees that light in you and is so grateful for that. Namaste, my friends. Shanti, shanti, shanti.